Josh and set up a time, date.
You want me?
Okay, I just I want to keep the ball rolling.
Oh, yeah.
Instead
Yeah,
of
for
waiting
sure. We wanna
2 more
keep
weeks
moving.
of doing nothing is
No,
get it done.
no. Okay, so anything else on that? Okay, so motion, we have second, and discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Public comment? No, okay, consent items, we have a motion to approve the consent items,
So moved.
motion,
Second.
and a second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Discussion items. Okay, Corinne, program reductions.
In looking at what we have as far as interventions already in both elementary and the high school, we got the letter template from ITA Foundation as far as submitting our letter, our intent to apply for the grant again, and looking at what the requirements are now, and looking at what we pay for our in-kind donation. In talking to the principals, we don't think that it is probably prudent anymore to get that grant, considering the fact that we end up paying this year $54,000 to have that, and we already have ADSYS, and it does cover the same basic information, basic interventions, I should say, instead of information. And so it would be a cost savings, and then it would make for better scheduling for the interventions as well.
So we're getting out of that what we got out of this. So instead of
The
paying,
ADSYS,
basically,
right.
Instead of paying both, for both of
Instead
them?
of paying for both, we'll just pay for one, and then really, with the template that came from the ITA Corporation, they are expecting a larger in-kind donation than what they have in the past. And so it just doesn't seem prudent to keep spending the money there. And I know it's a grant, and I know it seems like free money, but it does come with a cost.
Anybody have any questions on that? Gary, you have any?
And so that will be coming up for a vote
Next
on
time.
the 15th.
Maybe you have any questions on that, Grant? I know we talked a little bit about it last meeting, so. Okay. Old business, don't have any. New business. MNBA core dates, I know you guys talked about at the meeting. This is what you guys recommend.
Keep it below 5
Yep.
words.
We have a motion to do that?
I so move.
Second. Discussion?
Yeah, related to this, we've been, just like Corinne will give us updates on enrollment, and we also looked at the retention, and I think we could definitely do more analysis of the numbers, but I think that we originally took more kids and our retention was low, so we wanted to be more focused to make sure that we were getting the right kids, right?
Correct.
But if you look at the numbers, and don't quote me on this, I barely looked at the numbers, so I could be wrong. I don't think I am though. Our retention is actually, our numbers are down, you know, because we're trying to be more focused, but our retention's lower, especially in one of the schools. So I think that, you know, we can vote in these cohort dates, but just as a side note, I would look to our head of school to make some recommendations of some changes, because I'm getting concerned that if we don't make it, we're just watching the numbers, and I don't feel like we're doing anything about them. So we need to figure out a plan. I don't know if we can go back to the way it was and take more kids, and because I think our focused attempt isn't working, you know, because if it was, our retention would be higher. So I think we need to, and we're kind of getting into the area where the committee can do some of the research or do some of the analysis, but I really think this is so critical. The whole board should probably be in the loop fairly quickly on some of this. But I mean, I know we monitor the numbers, but what are we doing about it? So I don't have the answer. She doesn't have the answer.
MNBA
I don't know
or
what
the-
to do, so I don't know. We need to come up with some sort of
And
plan.
that's, we are, with Greg Blau from K-12, we are looking at different marketing strategies, but then also what's more important is when we do get the students here, that the teachers are reaching out, that we've got a lot of different ways that that child feels connected, and that, especially in the K-5, that the parents feel as learning coaches, that they are supported as well, because I think that might be the area where we do have the biggest ability to make that impact. And so we are, Angela and I are actually meeting in Rochester next week, and just sitting down and charting what we can do to make sure that we do have those engagement pieces, because the numbers are kind of scary. You're absolutely right.
yeah.
So you gotta bring that then when you guys, at the next meeting you guys have, maybe sit and look at what they think we should look at, focusing on to
Right.
bring in more students
Well,
and retention.
if we're getting the granted, our enrollment is down a bit this year, but that word of mouth, if you've got a program where the kids really feel connected and feel like they're getting what they're supposed to be getting, they tell their friends, and the parents tell their friends, and nothing is as strong as someone else saying, you should try this, it's a great school.
Well, and it came up, and it actually wasn't the online committee, it was the district advisory council when we were talking about bigger ideas. And it was mentioned by an MMBA teacher that a lot of the kids have mental issues or anxiety and various things. I'm not sure if you were in that meeting or not, but it's
Yeah,
that they
there.
need to feel, probably not gonna use the correct terms here, but they need to feel safe, or they need to build that connection, get over that obstacle with their teacher. And because they might have anxiety or, you know, these various different things, and that's probably why they're not in a normal school, because they have that, it just makes it a larger barrier, and it's a barrier to learning. So they have to get over that obstacle before they can even begin to learn.
Right.
So I have a feeling we're seeing more and more of that, and
We are-
issues become, and I don't have the answer for that.
We are in all facets of education.
Yeah, but we need to find, how do we overcome that to help these kids learn?
Well, if you
Because we already know that
we
we
can
have.
package it.
No,
You
I know,
it's big
I
books.
know, but well, hopefully
Yeah.
the teachers are noting that and getting the information to Angela so she can say, hey, maybe if we did this, because teachers are smart people, as we all know, and they may have some ideas on how we could do things better. And if we
And that's
can,
part of
you know.
and it's too bad that that the top 20 parent night probably is gonna get pushed to like a back to school night in August, but, that's really what top 20,
Do they do that on the, don't jump in, but I know we're kind of short on time.
on online, yes,
On the
online.
online?
Mhm.
Because I'd
Online
be curious
staff
to
is getting
see
the top 20 as well.
what parents, how they interact, on what they're saying, they would like to see, if they are saying anything, to make it a better place for not only their kids, but for their kids to brag about it to other kids, kind of what you, piggyback on what you said.
And maybe we could do with the online, maybe we didn't do a big parent roll, maybe we could do a big rollout of top 20. I know the staff is getting trained, but maybe getting those parents to attend the training is, maybe we need to deploy it even bigger there. Maybe it'll make more of a difference there than here even.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, some of their enrollment, the upper is still holding pretty close.
Yes.
It's enrollment.
9-12 is going great guns, but it's that we look at the K-8 program, as, if we can get the kids in K through 8 and keep them, then they're more likely to have success in the 9-12,
Are
and that
we-
will help our graduation rate.
Are we still having issues? I know at one time this may have come up, and I don't know if it's still an issue, that these kids maybe want to be involved in activities at schools, and some of the schools are not allowing them to be in those activities because they're not taking X amount of classes in the school. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's an issue,
The
because, you know, once you go to high
league
school.
has, but there are those, 8th grade is where we have the biggest drop off because they wanna try high school.
Yeah,
Well, enrollment now is, for employment is down to one of its lowest. And the commitment that the parents have to be, I mean, a lot of them were able to get jobs, so they weren't able to
stay home and help, yeah.
stay home and help and do the parenting part of it. And that hurt, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay,
good discussion. Anything else on that?
we just need to,
So do we have, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we almost forgot it.
yeah,
Okay. Policies first reading, 7, 11, 12, and 14. Look them over. Michael is on here to give us any updates or changes.
the fund balance, that one, we've still got,
Still working on?
well, no, that's the one that we need to look at every year as far as the minimum, or the amount we wanna keep in there, so,
Right now, I think it says 5%.
yes.
Yeah.
Which is, compared to most districts,
Is-
low,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That sounds
but,
Because the way our
The-
district is,
the auditor said that, with the way the managed school is run, the 5% is actually sufficient for us. So, that discussion comes up every year, so that's what I wanted you to kind of look at that one. Thank you.
anybody have any questions on those right now?
No other changes.
Okay, announcements. Board events, March 19th.
Let me know if
Day,
any of you
Capitol.
want to go, and if you do, I will, try to, we could stay overnight, and if you want to see if there's a way that we can, get meetings with like Greg Davids or Jeremy Miller, I can see if we can get
What
that.
day is the 19th?
March 19th is a Tuesday,
No, Monday.
is it a Monday?
Oh, yeah, it is
Okay,
Monday.
Monday,
It'd be same as April, as February.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Oh, it says Monday right there. Yay. Okay.
Oh, right, right, Wes.
There.
I'm looking at this going, I'm thinking I'm nuts because I don't see it on this piece of paper in front of me here. Okay.
Okay, but that's just a,
Are all of them gonna be there, or is it just when you say we could get a meeting with these people?
well,
We
last
go
year,
there and they don't show up and we have nobody to talk to.
right, last year, we had the 4 superintendents from Houston County had meetings scheduled with Greg Davids and with Jeremy Miller. Greg Davids was late and gave us all of 4 minutes, but he did let us in his office. And then Jeremy, was late for his meeting, but did sit down and talk to us for, a little longer. But basically,
6.5
we,
minutes.
we drove up in the morning and, had maybe 20 minutes of conversation. So that's always a,
Concern.
yeah,
So then you have on here possible trip to Herndon for K-12, for the
right.
people that may have not gone or wanna go.
Right, that's still open, in talking to Jennifer Sims, she actually said flying in a Tuesday, like on a Tuesday afternoon, and then, meeting people for supper, and then touring the Herndon facility on Wednesday, and then flying back Wednesday evening, would probably work the best, and Tuesday airfare tends to be less, as long as you book 54 days in advance, and 54 days puts us anytime after April 24th. So let me know.
Does anybody wanna go? That's right here, that,
Do you have dates then in mind?
No, I don't have any dates in mind. It's
if we find somebody that
April
wants to
twenty-fourth
go,
is
then we can.
April 24th is a Tuesday,
Did you wanna?
or we could do,
Want is, I'm torn on it. I mean, no, I don't wanna go, right? Like, I'd rather go on a family vacation and take off work to go to the East
Right.
Coast. But, you know, I feel like with some of, I've never been there, but I feel like with some of the concerns that we have right now, it's not a bad idea to go and talk directly with them to make sure that they understand our concerns and to see how they're processing, you know, the new I mean, I can see benefit to it. If enrollments were up and all this other stuff, I'd be like, no, I don't think it's necessary. So because I have some concerns, I think it might be something that we should think about.
Hey, it's a good trip. I mean, cause when we went the one time, and I don't know how many years ago it was,
2013?
is that what it was? Long, it was a while ago.
I didn't
It's a
go.
long time ago.
But, I mean, at that time, they were very receptive. We had a sit-down meeting with different groups. I mean, they took notes, you know, some of the stuff I think they even implemented on what we wanted. You know, they were talking about what they're looking at doing. You know, I thought it was pretty productive at that time. I mean, I know things have changed since then. So you're right, maybe there's, you know, and we do have some concerns on where we're going. Again, we have to remember we're coming up on where are we at now? How many years? We got 7.
2021 is
So we're
the
right,
end
we're
of the
close on
contract.
what are we gonna do next. If we're gonna maintain this relationship, I think it would be good to make sure that we're on the same page. Cause 2021 is coming up faster than we want it to.
Yep.
You know, so if anybody has the time, and I know me, like Mimi, it's a commitment, you know, you have to take a couple days away from the family obligations that you may wanna use later on.
So,
Gene, you may be more flexible, I don't know,
Yeah, I'm pretty flexible.
so.
so
You do yoga every day, so.
so I'll just put some dates and you guys can say which ones and I can float them to,
So right now, we're
K-12?
looking at after April.
well,
Correct.
like the April 24th or 25th, May 1st or 2nd,
Do we have anything
Or
else going on
May
at
8th or
that,
9th.
I mean, that time period? There's no other trips or school stuff? I don't know.
No, the school trips are prior to that. The
Okay.
band trip is, the band trip is.
Well, look and see what your thing is, Mimi, schedule, you know, that works for you. You know, and Gene, I mean, if I needed to go, I could go.
Gary, and I can,
Usually the end of the month is better.
I think
Not the beginning of the month, but
We can talk to Josh and
right,
Michaeline.
I
Seems like
think
Ron went last time.
we should also know what our purpose is.
Oh,
I mean,
before we go,
are
yeah,
we
what we
starting-
wanna do
we
is,
would need beforehand or
Are we starting negotiations now?
I'm not saying we start
I mean,
negotiations now, but I think.
not officially, but
I think we need to
so-
discuss it as a board, you know, and, you know, kind of what our direction is gonna be. Especially if we're gonna go out there, we might as well talk about it.
I'm interested, and I can say it right, I'm interested in
Here.
seeing, wow.
That hurt.
I'm interested in, you know, like, if we're gonna start negotiations, even if we're not, like, what are, like, the other schools in Minnesota, like, are their retention rate, and I don't know what can be shared, but are their retention rates on par with ours? And, like, we're thinking of implementing, you know, top 20, we're trying to, like, are other schools doing that and online, and how do they get over some of the issues that we're seeing, and, you know, just, I guess it's mainly Minnesota. I'm looking at how we compare it to the other schools in Minnesota. You know, are they starting to send more kids to another school, and that's why our enrollment's down?
Well, I think they have us set up as almost like 3 separate entities, right? Is that my understanding? We're kind of like 3 different. But I would hope, as a corporation, if they see stuff that's working in one of their other, and it wouldn't have to be Minnesota, another
Well, yeah, that
state
part,
or another
right.
school, you would hope that they would bring it up to everybody in the system that would say, hey, this is working great in Nebraska, you should try it.
Well,
You
and
know, or something like that. I don't know.
I think in the past, we've been on certain topics probably that lead school, and I think we need to be. You know, if we wanna be a long-term school, we need to be the one that's coming up with these solutions, and they're gonna see value in that, right? And so I wish we could get more of a partnership to maybe implement some of this stuff as one of the
That can
first.
probably be discussion, like I said, last time they seemed pretty open to, you know, hey, we've been around a long time, so, anyway.
Okay.
So, think about it, we can continue the conversation on that part of it, and let Corinne know on the day at the Capitol. Meetings and committee updates, we really didn't have any, all we had, the 15th, we have a meeting.
Michaeline and I went to the EDA meeting over in Caledonia on Tuesday, and they seem like they want to continue that, and that fits in with some of our goals that we're looking at
It's the
with the
partnership
businesses,
goal.
with the partnership part. Really good.
And then that morning, I went to the Compass meeting, where the United Way did an evaluation of multiple aspects in Houston County. As far as, they did say that we've got a good quality of life here, that people tend to like the schools. So there were county officials there, very few from schools, businesses, healthcare. But they did say that the major problems in the county, the ratio of mental health providers to residents is 1 to over 4,600. So there's one mental health provider for every 4,600+ people. And
That have medical issues, mental
well,
health issues.
that if they need a mental health provider, there's gonna be a long wait. And in fact, one of the the county nurses was there saying that it takes about 9 months to get somebody in to see a mental health provider. And if they miss that appointment, it's another 9 month
So what are they
wait.
doing to fix that?
We were just talking about, okay, here's the issue, and we had to try to find some way to bring other mental health, and actually, Mary Zafty, who is the county nurse, said that they should look at Houston, because she said when she's been here, we have Hiawatha Valley Mental Health coming in and providing counseling here in the school, so there's that support for the kids. And since we can't find it in the county, we're finding it elsewhere and bringing it in.
Maybe that's what the county should look at, is what she's saying,
Yep.
it's an
And
idea.
so, is it enough? No, because we've got kids on a waiting list to talk to Hiawatha Valley Mental Health, but we're doing.
What's
what we
Hiawatha,
can.
yeah, I was gonna say Hiawatha, what are they?
Well, Hiawatha Valley District doesn't have anything to do with it. It's Hiawatha Valley Mental Health is one thing. Hiawatha Valley Education District is a separate entity. They're not the same. But
Okay, more to work. Okay. Anything else you have to share with us, Corinne, at this time?
nope,
Okay,
I might, the March 14th, 30 days after the shooting, and so there's supposed to be possibility of walkout for 17 minutes, so I'd just be aware that we might have some students be part of that.
again, I haven't heard, and I've talked to Todd about that as well, so.
So that we're aware of it.
no, thanks, appreciate you bringing it up.
There's been good articles on it, that it can be a
Oh.
good learning experience.
The other thing, the announcement, yesterday was Bus Driver Appreciation Day, so I just wanted to publicly, there was a thank you in the banner, but I wanted to publicly state that we have fantastic bus drivers, and they actually got a commendation from some online staff who had been talking about driving buses on these roads in some of the winter conditions can't be fun. So we do want to thank our bus drivers.
Thank you, bus drivers,
Okay.
for sure.
But-
Very much appreciated.
Yeah.
Okay,
We-
so anything else? So, we have a motion to adjourn?
I can make a motion to.
Second? Okay, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much, have a great night.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, it was it's all about, Gary.
Go hang out tonight.
1 minute left.